Tonight, the air feels heavier than usual, almost too still, as if the silence itself is waiting for something. When the world grows this quiet, it's never truly empty. Somewhere, in the hum of the night, something is always listening. The radio in front of you hisses faintly, that static crawling into your ears like whispers from a place you can't quite reach. You want to believe it's just interference, but sometimes, if you listen closely enough, the noise starts to sound like words. Now, imagine yourself alone in a dimly lit room, staring at a glowing dial. Between the empty frequencies, a voice cuts through. It's not an announcement, not a song, just a voice calling out. And that's where our story begins. This is the tale of a radio DJ's final broadcast. A night that should have been just another graveyard shift, but instead became a mystery that still chills anyone who dares to remember it. The DJ was known for his charm, his jokes, and his easy laughter. But on his last night, something was off. His voice trembled in ways no audience had ever heard before. He began the show with a strange opening. "If you're listening to this, don't turn off your radio. I don't know how long I can stay on." At first, listeners thought it was a gimmick, a late-night stunt to add drama. But as the minutes ticked by, panic seeped into his words, and no one was laughing anymore. He confessed that for weeks a voice had been slipping through the static during his shows. Not a caller, not a prank, but something darker, something that knew him. The voice didn't joke or request songs, it only spoke his name, over and over again, with a tone so flat, so cold, it sent chills even through the airwaves. And then came the part that froze his audience. He swore the voice wasn't coming from his headphones anymore. He could hear it in the studio, whispering behind him. Suddenly, there was silence on air, a long, suffocating silence. Then the scrape of a chair, followed by heavy, uneven breathing. Listeners called the station, desperate for answers. No one picked up. Yet the broadcast continued, as if the studio was empty, but the microphone was still open. Then came 3 knocks, sharp, loud, as if something or someone was outside the booth's door. The DJ's voice returned, breaking, shaking. "It's here, and I can't..." Before, it was cut off by a scream that tore through the frequency. What followed was pure static. For minutes, nothing but white noise. And then, silence. The broadcast ended. When authorities arrived, the studio was pristine. No sign of struggle, no broken locks. The DJ had simply vanished. The station shut down months later, unable to recover from the scandal. But whispers remain. Some claim they've tuned in to the same frequency late at night, hearing a familiar voice calling out from nowhere. If you ever catch that voice, don't let it say your name, because if it does, you're not just listening anymore. You've been heard. And if you want to keep diving into stories like this, make sure you subscribe now before the next broadcast finds you first.